I don't like that person. I don't like that person. That person, that person, that person's wrong. That person's wrong. That person hurt me. That person hurt you. What did you hear what he said? What she did? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm right. They're wrong. Anyone that agrees with that person, they're wrong too. They just don't understand. I'm so alone, I'm so alienated, and I'm going to find like-minded people and we'll all agree and then I'll feel better. Oh my goodness. Those of you new to the work today, what we do here in this community, what we do together is we identify the thoughts that are causing all the war in our world, all the suffering in our lives. We identify the thoughts we're thinking about those situations where we're so right. We move those thoughts from our head to paper onto a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. There are 6 questions there to answer. That's how we download our head. We move it from our head to paper. And there's my problem with that person in that situation. There's my problem right there in front of me, my head on paper. My goodness, the cause of my suffering right there. Okay, so what do I do with it? I question it. Could be valid. My mind is open to what I'm thinking and believing isn't valid. I'm open, even though my ego says I'm right, they're wrong. I'm open as I sit in what I'm about to do with those thoughts. Self-inquiry. I'm going to question what I'm thinking and believing about that person or those people in that situation. Can't hurt. I expect nothing other than my own integrity when I meet the questions. And no one can ever know but me. Am I conning myself? Am I really doing the work? Or am I just into justifying what I'm thinking and believing? I don't call this the work for nothing. Oh my goodness. You know, we're messing with identity. What is my identity? I am right and you were wrong. I am the kind one and you just don't understand me. I would do the work. I would do the work on what I'm thinking and believing about you and anyone that would agree with you if it doesn't match what. Those of you new to the work today, the work is an exercise in stillness. It takes a very open mind, you sitting with you. No one else, no one, just you with you. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage. And no one has to do it. No one has to do it. You know, happiness is our birthright. So I invite you all to test that for yourself. And those of you new to the work, welcome to, could be that what I say, you go, what is she saying? She moves so fast. What? Okay, you know, just forget about it. Anything I've said, and welcome here. And well, Mero, honey, you have a worksheet?
Hi, Katie. Yeah, I
Hi.
do have a worksheet.
Let's go.
It's a very weird one. So it's on someone that doesn't even exist. It's
Oh my
just a
gosh. Let's say,
hypothetical.
um,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm going to do the work on someone that doesn't exist. Would that be all of us?
That's right.
Let's see. Okay.
So it came up this morning. I'm sitting in the park and I'm thinking about, like, I've been single for a long time now, And anytime I think of a potential boyfriend, there's like this close down. So that this worksheet is on that potential boyfriend of the future that I'm not ready to meet, or like I think that doesn't exist. So it's a weird worksheet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what did you write for number one? And just for new people today, number one, the question is, first you anchor in a situation like we heard Homero, he's sitting in the park on a bench. I saw an image of that. I see you in the park, and I don't even know what city or town I just see in your mind, my mind's eye, you sitting in the park on a bench. So we're all anchored there with Homero, and read number one.
Yeah, so I am closed down with him because he will hurt me and he will never be enough.
Okay. So that imaginary person in your mental world, that imaginary person, that person as you're imagining that person to be, will hurt you. If you partner with that person, that person's perfect, and it just turns out to be not that at all. Or he's just kind and kind and kind, just the one you've always been waiting for. He's going to hurt you, Homero. Is it true? Can you really know that it's true? He will hurt you.
Yes.
Now notice how you react when you believe that thought, and notice how that affects your life. When
All
you're
right, close down. I feel like my chest contracts and I go defensive and I start to rationalize why I'm better off alone.
So just be there on the bench. You don't trust him, him in your mind's eye. You don't trust him. He's going to hurt
I feel
you.
grief. I feel a certain sadness and longing. I feel like disconnected from the world.
Yeah. Now notice when you're thinking the thought, he will hurt me. Notice when you look at the past that the ego offers up, those images, notice how it offers up past relationships and even family members. It goes beyond romantic relationships or partner. Notice what the ego offers up. Notice how old the thought, they will hurt me, he will hurt me, she will hurt me, they will hurt me.
Yeah, I can see a dream from last night with an ex-boyfriend. And if I go way earlier, yeah, images of, family, feeling hurt and misunderstood and disappointed, surprised, kind of like, yeah, like angry and hurt, really. Yeah.
Okay, so he will hurt you on the bench, looking at all those images, and notice how you're not doing it. The ego is offering up these images. You can't stop them. You can go, oh, stop it and wake up. But you meet someone in that dream, you put it on them. Like, they'll hurt me. God, I love this guy. He'll hurt me. Okay, same whether the apparent living or the apparent mind. It's all there in you. Life is, you bring to my mind, Omero, what we think about, we bring about.
Yeah.
You think it on the bench with this imaginary potential partner, and he's not safe. And he's a state of your own mind. He will hurt you. Okay, so see an image of that partner in your mind's eye, the one in your imagination as you sit on the park bench. He will hurt you. Who would you be without the thought he'll hurt me? Now just open up to anything he might say or do that would be fearful to you. Like you fall in love and then he leaves you. All the scenarios of as you sit on the park bench.
Yeah, without the thought, I'm open to even imagining that. Like before that, like I'm even closed down to picturing someone because I get scared. And without the thought.
Yeah, the ego gets it takes you in so deeply, this trance, this egoic trance, this that you're describing. That, and I interrupted you, and you see it.
Without the thought, I'm able to kind of like play, like, oh, what would it be if we would be a guy like this or a guy like that, or it's just play, really, like just even to allow myself to imagine what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now look at that image in your head where he's hurting you. You're in love and you trusted him and he's hurting you. He's found someone else. That someone else is more handsome, kinder, better looking. I mean, all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So who are you? Watch him walk away with him and you're hurt. Who would you be without the thought, he will hurt me? Look at him walk away with that person. Who are you without the thought, he'll hurt me? You all understand we're not shutting down the images. We're not checking out. We're in self-inquiry. Just witness. He's walking away into a life that he deems best for him, considering the person he walks away with or you.
So I picture myself just sitting down, and if I see it as a picture, it's just the guy, me sitting down, noticing and experiencing emotions, right? So I see him walk away.
Emotions, as you watch those images of you being hurt, the love of your life, you finally trusted again, the love of your life, you trusted, and there he goes, one more time, just killing you.
Yeah.
Now, who would you be without the thought, he will hurt me? He's walking away with that other guy.
Yeah, just me sitting on a bench.
He will hurt me. Let's turn it around, find another opposite.
Oh, I will hurt me. Yeah, this is a very painful image. Yeah. I will hurt me.
As you sit on the bench, being lost in imagination.
Yes.
You're hurting me.
Yeah.
It's all yours. That's in you. That's not a him. That's imagination.
Yes. It was a beautiful morning and everything was going well until I hurt myself with this thought. Yeah.
Unintentionally, because it's ego's play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a real him. That's not a real you in your mind's eye.
Yeah. I will hurt me when I attach he is leaving me for blah, 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 like he's just walking away. You know, he's just going to. I mean, I cannot even say he is. You know, it's just like, well, how do I know he is not supposed to be here? He's not. You know, like, so that doesn't hurt for sure when I see it that way.
He will hurt me.
He will hurt me. I
And
will hurt him.
hurt him.
Well, yeah, I'm projecting this super cruel guy that doesn't even exist. I'm just like projecting this into someone that is not even there, you know?
Yeah, you're at war with pure imagination.
Yes. And I'm projecting what I'm afraid would happen from past relationships where I have hurt people, you know, you know, so I'm bringing the baggage into the future where I hurt people, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you loved him before he left you, and what changed? You didn't get what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
People's mind change. He will hurt me. I will hurt him. Like, imagine the next time you see him in your mind's eye, just sitting on the bench. You don't speak to him. You're hurt. He looks like a
Well,
freighter passing by in your mind's eye with his new partner. And there they are, happy, and then there's you on the bench, all depressed.
yeah. Well, what comes up with that turnaround is, you know, even imagining someone, like the moment that comes up as a bubble, like I pinch it, like, no, I don't want to imagine that. I don't even want to see that. I'm closed down to it. So that moment I'm hurting, even imagining some potential relationship.
He will hurt me. I will hurt me.
Mhm.
In that situation, it's like I am hurting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm believing the dream. I'm caught in the dream of imagination.
Yeah. Very painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. He will not hurt me. How can he? He's a imagination. He is a hologram. Like how could he hurt me at that point?
You know,
He
I
will not hurt
love
me.
you're saying that and you see it because, Stephen and I have a great relationship in my experience, to my mind, and it's a great relationship. But he is who I believe him to be.
Yes.
Someone else could live with him and think differently
Yeah.
about how they see him, who they think and believe him to be as they hear him talk and his mannerisms. And what I find lovely, someone else might find it impossible to live with.
Mm.
Don't know. This is my world. If I'm not deeply connected with Stephen, meaning understanding,
Mm.
if I don't hold an understanding of what you are sharing with today, then I'm costing me that relationship.
Mm.
So let's say I'm upset with the Stephen as I believe him to be, just like you sitting on the bench.
Mhm.
And so I need to wake me up, just like you. And it doesn't mean that Stephen didn't say what he said or do what he did, but that's past. So that Stephen that doesn't exist anymore standing in front of me, I'm taking imagination out on him, like I'm cold and I'm distant and justified in it, not safe with him.
Mm.
He's hurting. Mm, 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 mm. So he will hurt me. Turned around, I will hurt him
Mhm.
if he doesn't live up to your expectations.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah.
That would leave you with self-inquiry.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have that before, so
Yeah.
that's something good to notice.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
never been in a relationship since your work has been a tool in my life now.
Other
So
than with yourself and your pretty cool part.
yeah.
Even sitting on the bench, you're aware that that's not a real person, that's imagination.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool partner to be sitting with.
Yeah.
An understanding, you sitting in an understanding.
Mhm.
How does it affect your life when you think the thought, when you walk around with, when you meet someone that you're attracted to or it's attracted to you? How do you react when you think the thought, he will hurt me? God, this guy's really cool. Wow, wow. And then you have the thought, he will hurt me. You see those images as though you were on the park bench.
Yeah, I close down. I completely disconnect. I don't engage. I close. I contract, separate.
Pure fear.
Yeah.
You see them leaving you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're so in love and they leave you. Just when you're
Yeah.
really hooked, it's going to hurt you. Let's look at 2. In that
Yeah.
situation, you're imagining on the bench. What do you want in that situation?
I want him to be perfect, never let me down.
You want him, that him in your mind's eye. Honey, that him in your mind's eye. You want him to be perfect. That dreamed him in your head. You want him to be perfect. Is it true?
No. Yeah, I can see it's just a coping mechanism. Like the bar is so high, so I remain constantly separated from whomever. It's just a beautiful
And
trick.
the whomever is the guy in your head. That's
Yeah.
the whomever, and that's not a whomever.
Yeah.
That is your own ego, imagination. Notice the emotional when you think the thought, I want him to be perfect and never let me down.
I feel frustration. I feel I mean it's so ridiculous, but I feel like yeah, apathy and mostly frustration. I feel hopeless. That's what I'm feeling. Hopelessness, like it will never be kind of thing.
Yeah. And what I'm experiencing from here, sitting with you, is it's preventive, what your ego, sees as medicine. It's like anyone that gets close to you, that you're attracted to, you better be careful because
Yeah.
you've got that thing running on the bench, sitting on the bench, running in you as in life you meet that person you're attracted to that is really cool with you, really,
Yeah.
really seems to be attracted to you as well.
Yeah.
So you meet that person, and even if you're not awake to, he's going to hurt me on,
I need him to be perfect.
and you're distant
Yes.
because you're in the future, just as though you were in the bench. Same with that person you're meeting and attracted to, or sitting on the bench. You are in the trance you're describing to us. He wants me to be perfect. I want him to be perfect. So you start looking for his flaws because you're believing he's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
He's going to let you down. Oh, Mero, this is really Well, what you imagining on the bench, you take it into your life. So on the bench, your ego's just practicing, keeping you tranced so it can
Yeah.
own you and no one else can have a piece of you.
Yeah. And just right now when you said he wants me to be perfect, like it goes to that polarity just as well. I'm sitting there in the bench. No, he needs to be perfect. Well, if I find the perfect one, he would want me to be perfect. And it just keeps me in this bubble, completely disconnected from anything, really.
So when you meet a man you're attracted to or is attracted to you, you go into a trance. And
Yeah.
that's not wrong. It's just that you're tranced. You don't
Yeah.
know the difference between being present, connected, listening, communicating, open. No, you're busy being tranced,
Yeah.
hurting you. He will hurt me. That's his fear. Your ego's busy hurting you in his name. And all he's done is say, gosh, you're interesting, you're fascinating, and I like to get to know you. So just be with that a minute. The best man in the world, whatever that is to your mind, can't get through, can't get through, can't get beyond what you're thinking and believing regarding them, even though you've just met. And then if you're faking it, that thing's still running in you, and you'll hurt him and let him down. In that state of mind, that's suspicion.
Yeah.
Story of the future.
Yeah. It brings in this sense of threat, threatening sensation. Yeah.
Yeah, because that guy will end up taking your money, taking your love, taking and just leaving you, boom, for someone better. I want him to be perfect and never let me down. So stand there with that man in your mind's eye, standing across from you as you sit on the bench. Without the thought, I want him to be perfect and never let me down. And just look at him. Has he said anything or done anything to hurt you? Is he saying you have to fall in love with me and if he's schmoozing, drop your story, look. Could be authentic for him.
Yeah.
Not
And
fake. You don't know.
without the story, I can actually see, I can actually be present and open, not like this guarding thing, it's just open.
Oh my gosh, so you would be the man you want him to be.
Yeah.
The one you could trust.
Mm. Mm.
Not to hurt another human being or someone you love and care about.
Mm. Yeah, I could trust myself in that moment without the thought. Yeah.
It's only you're worried about anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a state of fear, a state of mind. The one we're looking at as you sit on the bench in the trance. The trance of him, the trance of you. There's the you on the bench, and there's the you meeting him. And then, there are three of you there. It's just that two of them are a trance in your head, affecting your life. I want him to be perfect and never let me down. Again, turn it around to yourself. In that situation where he's hurting me, leaving me,
Mhm.
I want me.
I want me to be perfect and never let me down.
Yeah. So just listen to him. He's found someone else. He's leaving you after all you've done for him. Just sit and I want me to be perfect. Maybe a word for understanding, and not to let him down. So listen to him tell you that he's found someone else that he finds very attractive, that's kinder, more generous, more understanding, less suspicious. Listen to him tell you about his new lover. Listen to him without the thought, I want him to be perfect and never let me down. Turned around, I want me to be perfect and never let him down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting, to be able to relate in that way. It's so new actually. I'm looking forward to that kind of like being able to be so loving really to someone else.
Yeah. It's like, I love you until you leave me. Yeah. And then if I don't, obviously I don't, but that's on you, not me. There's something off with that.
Mm.
It's not about, do I love you? Do I hurt you? It's about, do I love you?
Yeah.
Am I hurting you? Because in that I hurt me. And in that I say and do things that are really ugly and hurtful. That's fear.
Yeah.
That's us dreamed.
Yeah.
The I and the you in our own dream. Considering I want him to be perfect and never let me down. I want him to be imperfect and let me down as you sit on the bench.
I want him to be imperfect and let me down. Well,
Yeah.
I want him to be imperfect and let me down. Well, that would grow me, you know, that also sounds more realistic.
Well, to me, it woke you up from the reverie. I was, whoa, oh, good. I'm on the bench. That's a state of mind.
Yes.
That's him in my mind. I want him to be imperfect and to let me down, so whoa, the nightmare's coming to an end. Oh, good. It was only that as I sat on the bench.
And also
Look at the
kind of
tree,
like,
sky.
yes. And also like I want him to be imperfect and let me down, almost like if the ego would get to prove something, like I was right, he was going to let me down, like
Yeah, trust me, says the ego. I'm your
yeah.
friend. I'm always here for you. The separator of all, the apparent separator of all love. But love isn't something that the ego can touch. That's immovable.
Mhm.
Just kind of hangs out, waits for you to catch up with it. Through all the pain, all the suffering, all the mind games that the ego offers up, all the tricks as you sit in the park on a bench on a really beautiful day. The people
Yeah, I
walking
want
the
him.
dogs and the trees and the sky.
Yeah. I want him to be imperfect and let me down. That's next worksheet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what relationships are all about. Waking up to our partners wake us up to our kinder selves, or we become really ugly. You know, we get into winning and winning and losing. That's the ego.
That's right. Mm.
You made me trust you, and you, and you know, it's like you hurt me.
I'm feeling a sense of trust right now. Yeah.
That if he does hurt you, it's like you, meaning people, us. If he does hurt you, I was right. I can't trust anyone, the ego says. I knew it would happen. I fell for it again. Yeah, the ego just, whoa, I know. And then the person takes the brunt of all of that. And you do to him, if only in your mind's eye, what you are fearful he's doing to you. But I can hurt him, it's okay, because that's valid. He hurt me. That's valid as a way of saying that's crazy. If you're hurt, I love you, understand how to look to yourself, and you're doing like, what is the term? It's not, you're doing like premature recovery. Got to be a better way of saying that.
Like preventive?
Preventive medicine, really good. That's what the work is, preventive medicine. Yeah, the joining of the heart where medicine isn't needed because you're swimming in it at all times. It's just the ego is trying to take up the room. Doing a pretty good job sometimes as we're sitting on the bench in the park.
Yeah. Fighting a ghost, basically.
Yeah, sitting there, the war with the self.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you are a handsome dude. You go, yeah, what do you want? What do you want? Hmm. You know, on a scale from 1 to 10, the ego will go all ways. Some of us are taken to what is it? To it goes from like self-indulgence, like we're just in this dream and we know it's not real, and then we're caught up in it, and until we're just intoxicated with it, and then it just becomes our identity, our internal identity that we try to hide, but it's going on. You know, we walk away from the bench, but it's going with us. Be careful, the ego says, trust only one lover, and that's what you're thinking and believing. The ego is a jealous apparent God, and I say God because it rules as we sit on the bench sometimes. Let's look at 3 in that situation when you're believing the thought he will hurt you. What did you number 3 advice?
He shouldn't show up. I'm not ready.
Is that true?
No.
That ego in your mind's eye sitting on the bench. He's in your mind's eye. That's ego. He shouldn't show up. Is it true? Because when we're in that trance, we're really tranced. It's like the signs of the future to come. Don't trust anyone. That he in your mind's eye, he shouldn't show up. You're not ready. And the love of your life, no matter what he'll take from you, or you think he'll, it's people can't take from you what you don't give.
Well, I'm afraid of losing my peace. I've been so peaceful, so he shouldn't show up. Then I'm gonna go into chaos and intensity and obsession and codependence. Yeah, that's what I'm fearing right there.
Yeah, and it's what's happening in your mind's eye, not in reality, but in your mind's eye. He shouldn't show up. You're not ready. Is it true? He should show up. I am ready. He's in my mind's eye, that imagined he.
Yeah.
Because it'll keep
the worst that could happen, I was feeling in that moment.
Yeah. And your ego goes, good, I'm here, because it'll help you in the future. Be safe. The ego's, creates fears. So, look to me. I'll keep you safe. I'll keep you safe. And what it does is it keeps you out of relationships by fear rather than intelligent choice.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really intelligent about love other than love itself. That's the ultimate intelligence. But it doesn't mean that other people have to love us. We can just know them by nature once we've recognized our own. As you sit on the bench, he should show up. That's imagination. Wow. And obviously you're ready. There he is. There that isn't at all is. That isn't at all appears to be. And that's all we'll ever meet in our life. The ego isn't present. But it sure feels like it, that trance. Let's look at 4. On the bench, on 3, he shouldn't show up. I'm not ready, turned around. I should show up right now on the bench, and I'm ready. I see it's a dream.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where this worksheet was born from, like, oh, let's show up. I'm ready. Let's take this to paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's showing respect for the dream, showing respect to the dream, the end of war with the ego and the fascination of the identity that shows up that's not yours, that its job is to convince you that's you. You better be careful. This is you. If you're not careful, you're going to fall for it again. That lover is going to take advantage of you. Be careful. Let's look at 4.
I need him to love me, see me as worthy.
Okay. So your partner has hurt you. Just imagine that on the bench. There you are. You see it. You can't. He's hurting you. So to be happy, you need him to love you. and see you as worthy. Is it true? To be happy, you need him, that partner in your head, to love you and to see you as worthy. Is it true?
No,
Wow, sweetie, what did you see?
just the hopelessness of it, like completely dependent on someone else's. Like when you say to be happy, that really made a difference.
That's what number 4 is all about. It's about happiness. Now notice how you react. Sitting on the bench in your mind's eye, that you in your mind's eye, and that you in your life, how it's been affected when you think the thought. To be happy, I need him to love me and to see me as worthy. Notice how you've been with partners when to be happy, you need them to see you that way.
It's exhausting, just exhausting. Yeah, like trying so hard and trying to go into their business and just like showing up like all the ways that I'm lovable and I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm so perfect here, like exhausting. Yeah.
So slow down and sit in that. How you react when you think the thought, to be happy, I need that person to love me and to see me as worthy. Look how old it is. Look how maybe with your siblings or your parents or aunts, uncles, or notice your life, how far reaching that is, how far it goes back. To be happy, I need people to love me and to see me as worthy.
I don't think I can find a memory where it hasn't been that way. Like I saw myself alone in my bedroom when I was a kid, just like away of everyone, just protecting myself of. So I saw a lot of shame, really. That's what I'm trying to say. I saw a lot of shame, hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than go into life and take the risk that people might see you that way, and that the worst that can happen is what you're thinking and believing, which you're living. The worst that could happen, believing it all those years ago. Looking at the
Yeah.
history, the genesis. Can't
Yeah. I
even
also felt very invisible. Yeah.
It's like not taking the chance of just being you without the fear of punishment or people seeing you as unlovable or unworthy.
That's right.
Gosh, it's just terrifying. It's lonely.
And the image that comes as well is me on the hallway of the house where I grew up, and I was very little, probably 5 years old, and everyone else is with someone else. Like my parents are together in the room, my siblings, my two older sisters are together on the room, and they don't let me play with them. My grandma was with her boyfriend, my cousins live, everyone is with someone, and I'm alone there in the floor of the room, by
Which leaves
myself.
you unloved and not worthy.
Yeah.
It's like your mind takes that and your ego takes that, and how it that's how your ego, that's the grip, the
Yeah.
spell, the ego. And notice how you didn't do it on purpose. You just looked at all these people together, and there you are alone. And
Yeah.
they're having such good times or so caring together, and you're unworthy, or they would just invite you in.
Yeah, that's how I was feeling in the bench in the park this morning, alone in the bench. Everyone else is somewhere else, and I'm here alone in the bench. Yeah.
So your identity, born at about 5 years old in this respect, the unworthy, unlovable identity, all the way up to the bench.
Yeah.
And we take
Yeah.
that into our relationships if that becomes our identity. And we can't stop believing that the ego is just busy looking for all the proof, even on the bench without a lover,
Yeah.
other than the imagined one. You're unworthy and not lovable. So, of course, anyone that says they love you are going to see you as you believe you to be, no matter what they see. Your ego overrides it.
Yeah.
Until finally, someone says, well, you're not lovable. Well, now you know why someone, a lover, might see you that way. You believe it. You follow the ego as you live that out innocently until they get it. And they don't think you're unlovable or unworthy. They just can't get through to you. They can't get through that trance. They say, you're worthy, I love you. And you can't believe it. Your identity is there. I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy. And your ego holds all the proof. And we don't know these images are going on.
Yeah.
Just collapsing. Yep. Yep. Why try? You're going to suffer. You may as well just, live these turnarounds and try it on, if opportunity comes up that's valid, that you feel a connection with someone. And you
Mhm.
might, if they say, how are you? At some point, you might say, well, if you're ever going to care about me, here's what you should know. I have this thing where I just often don't feel worthy or lovable, like someone that could be loved. So if I ever seem suspicious of you, just know that I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And when you say you love me, give me your list. Write it. I want to know in black and white what you love about me, where you see me as worthy in this relationship. And I'm not messing around, right?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I can see images of the past of constantly in past relationships like, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Yeah. Why do you love me? Yeah,
Mhm.
can see that.
Or trying to be that without asking the question, just trying to be, well, if I say this or do that, they'll, they'll see me as lovable. And we don't even know this is going on. It's just
Mhm.
identity.
Mhm.
And then we're so hurt when they say they're leaving us. It's like,
Yeah.
they're taking advantage. They took advantage of me. That's just messed up. I need him to love, I need me to love me and see me as worthy and lovable.
Yeah, I need to love me and see me as worthy and lovable. Yeah, in the bench. I mean, it was a beautiful day in the bench, and meanwhile, torturing myself with this, story. But
Yes, number one is to wake up to that, which you're
yeah,
doing now, never too late.
yeah,
To wake up on the bench, it's all mind's play.
yeah,
Okay, so on the bench, um, Give me one example. I am lovable. So look at you on the
Yeah.
bench from here. Look
Yeah.
at you sitting on the bench. Just
Well,
standing outside yourself, looking at you. What do you see when you look at I am lovable? To test it. This isn't positive affirmations, those of you new to the work. This is real deal. What do you see?
yeah, I can see myself just sitting there in nature, enjoying a beautiful morning, connected, you know, uh, peaceful, like there's not doing anything wrong to anyone, just, a nice, nice human being, really. Yeah.
You see you?
Mhm.
So that matches what I see.
Hmm.
My mind could go, I'd never trust anyone with a mustache. I'd never trust, I'd never, that's on me. It has nothing to do with you. That's on me. So if we're going to partner and you're clear, then you're not going to like me long. You may love me, but you know who not to do with. I'm tranced. It doesn't make me unlovable or unworthy in your world. But in my world, that's who I am. You cannot wake me up by telling me I'm worthy and lovable and give me all your money and all your this and all and loving me and making me breakfast and all of it. You can't make me feel worthy or loved. I don't trust you. You see, my identity is set. If you say you love me, I don't trust it. You tell me I'm worthy of a relationship. Go, yeah, I don't trust it. He doesn't really know me yet. I'm unworthy. So now I have to live up to your expectations. You see, I'm showing you this in reverse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If someone says, Byron Katie, you're unlovable and you're unworthy, I just think, I'll look at that. It's maybe I'm missing something. Could be. Could be. If I said something hurtful, if I done something unkind or could be construed that way, some of this is worth looking at. And then I can ask that person, I don't see it. I'm just blind to it. Specifically, where am I unlovable or unworthy? And that doesn't mean I'm going to change it, but I want to know because I could be missing something.
And in that moment in the bench, this is where this was born, this like I was like, this is such a stupid belief. There's not even one here to judge, like it's like so ridiculous. And like I might be taking someone else's space, and like I'm ashamed of doing this worksheet. And it's like, no, this is worth it, like you.
Yeah. And look at you when you're little and you see your parents paired up, your sisters paired up, everyone, and you're left out. Notice how you react when you believe the thought. You go, you stop trying at some point or whatever it is. But look what you do to create the identity of lovable and worthy. Watch that little guy, watch that little 5-year-old at some point take on who he's not in order to manipulate the appearance, the identity of I'm loved and worthy.
That's where creativity was born, you know, and it gave me so much identity. I mean, I'm a designer, you know, so, and it was born out of that moment, you know, I would draw or go into imagination, not so different from the bench. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so really what's born out of fear is waking up to it. It's just love. It's like you did partner with, you were, it's just good stuff. But but besides that, you look at what you said and what you did to become worthy, how much of that was seeking love, approval, and appreciation. It's two sides to of the coin. You were very creative at it.
Well, I became very rebellious and a very angry kid, and I would get attention that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another modality.
Mhm.
And what we're looking at right now is why you can't trust someone else
Mhm.
not to hurt you or to not mean what they say. And it doesn't mean that they do mean what they say, but it would show you where your lack of trust is, which leaves you to be a really good partner and to understand why they wouldn't be and to make your decision about how that relationship, what you want. And if they leave, it allows you to just, support them to leave because you're worthy and you're loved
Mhm.
with or without him.
Yeah, not conditional.
Because look at that little 5-year-old, look at, I love you. You saw that. Look at that creative little guy. He was so okay alone.
Yeah.
Creative, talented. That turnaround on it's like I'm unworthy, unloved. Oh my gosh, I'm unworthy and unloved. Look at all the enlightenment that came out of it and the growth that came out of it and the benefits of it. And
Mm.
now you can have it all. Lovable, worthy, talented, awake.
Yeah.
Boy, and that leaves you to be your partner. Without a partner, you've got one, a good one. As you sit on the bench, good company. Other than what you were thinking and believing, he will hurt me. You're good.
You know, what I'm thinking is like that's what it took, you know, that isolation and shame to wake me up.
To grow you in this earth school.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is no more, no less than earth school.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to sit here with you in this mm, in the presence of this worthy, full of love man. Little fear to catch up with. But you do that really beautifully, honey. Let's look at 5 in that situation on the bench.
He is unavailable, handsome, smart, sexy, successful, humble, spiritual, and unicorn.
Okay. So let's say he has all those assets. He's unavailable.
Mhm.
Is it true? Sitting on the bench, look at the images. He's unavailable. Is it true?
No.
Handsome, smart, sexy. You get it?
Yeah, it's a imagination. It's all fantasy. It's all blah.
Still, look, when you meet that person, it's got to match what the ego offered up. You have to see it that way.
Yeah.
So he, in what you see as your life, what that handsome man, smart, sexy, successful, okay? How many of those have you met and had the thought, oh, they're unavailable,
Yeah. Yeah.
handsome, smart? And notice how you react when you're believing that smart, that those thoughts, and compare it to you, the unlovable one.
You know what I'm seeing, Katie, is from that image of the 5-year-old alone with, you know, in a relationship with fantasy. And this is exactly that, in a relationship with fantasy, alone in a relationship with fantasy. They love me, they don't love me, unlovable, so perfect, not perfect. It's still the same thing going on.
And look at them, they're beautiful, they're handsome, they're smart, they're successful, they're, in their relationships.
Yeah.
Not me, I'm unlovable and
Yeah.
worthy.
Yeah. Yeah. The ego gets a kick out of that one. Yeah.
Big fat kick.
Yeah.
Just feel the pain. Oh my gosh, and how it restricts your life and the
Yeah.
people you meet, even the ones you don't have a romantic interest in.
Yeah.
Those handsome, smart, sexy, successful people, those unicorns.
Yeah. It's like it takes it as a way of self-inflicting pain, like give me a hit, like it's a masochism, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and that adds up to they'll take advantage of me. They'll say, I love you, and obviously it's just not true. I'm unlovable. So they're taking advantage of me. They just want something.
Yeah.
Isolating. So you're living out what you saw your family as living, leaving you out.
That's right.
You're leaving out those handsome, unavailable. It doesn't mean that you can't be connected the way your sisters were, and all of it. It doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah. 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 That's right. Yeah, I constantly do that. Like I compare with people that are able to relate well and see they know how to socialize and like
Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
mom and dad and sisters and dun, da, da.
yeah,
So it's 5-year-old thinking.
yes.
That's what pain is. It's it's egoic, which is, the ego is a terrified child just looking for a home as object. I am unlovable. Um, no, no. Hmm. I'm sitting here thinking that you're unavailable when you're believing these thoughts.
Oh yeah.
And you're handsome and you're smart and you're sexy and you're successful and you're a unicorn. When you look at what you're thinking and believing, you're just like a unicorn.
Yeah.
You'll hurt me, it's your head. Yeah, I can see that little 5-year-old trying to be in with his sisters or be like your parents, like connected like that, but no, it's two and two and or three or four, but not you.
Yeah. It's so old. It's one of my first memories. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. First memory is on it's identity born. We're not born of body, it's identity. Let's look at okay, so see that guy in your head sitting on the bench. He's unavailable. Turned around, he's available. I mean, look at him. He's not hurting you. It's what you're thinking and believing that's hurting you, just like the 5-year-old. Not trusting. Wanting to connect so badly and not knowing how. He's handsome, turned around, he's not handsome. You know, that could be the one.
Yeah. It's like taking walls off.
Yeah, well, what would people think of me? If I was with him.
Yeah.
Look at the man in your mind's eye that's going to hurt you. To your mind, sitting on the bench. He's dumb. He's not smart. He's not sexy. He's not successful. And he's common. I'm using common as a turnaround, an opposite of unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you love him?
Yeah, what's coming is human, you know. It's like he's just human, you know, humble. Yeah.
So look how you've left those people out. To you, they're just not, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So you turned into the way you imagined your parents, just your sisters, the way they just didn't include you to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that they were doing that, but you're doing that.
Yeah.
Not right or wrong, just noticing there's a whole beautiful male race of gays out there, and men in general.
Yeah, and people in general, you know, lately I've been feeling very, very connected to everyone and everything. And when this trans comes up, it wants a special relationship with this perfect guy, and it just like completely takes me out of the peace that you know, the connection. And without it is like, you know, in love with everyone, you know, except for this trans, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's how I know you. Okay, honey. In that situation with that guy, when I believe that he'll hurt me, let me down, I am unavailable,
Unavailable. I am unavailable. Oh yeah. Out of
ugly,
touch. Yeah. Ugly, uh, dumb, uh, not attractive, unsuccessful, not humble, and not spiritual. Oh yeah. Yeah, completely in trance. Yeah.
And a unicorn, meaning the eagle's got you. It's just, you're not you. You're just this
Yeah.
frightened person. Just, it becomes eventually just like chop wood, carry water, to be frightened. We don't even know it's fear anymore. It's just, even though it is, he's going to hurt me. So whether that person is real or not, we believe these things on the bench, to the fantasized one the ego offers up, or we believe it in a relationship. So that person is a fantasy rather than the one we're really living with.
Yeah.
Living with Stephen, I love watching his attitudes. I don't want to miss a moment of him. His attitudes, his IQ is like off the charts, and I'm going, duh. I don't even know what he's talking. I look at, he puts the book he's reading, which is like a new one every day, like all this, looking at it just to see the big words there, that I just, just to see what I don't know. And I notice I don't have the need to know. I just am intimate with Stephen, whether he's in the room or not. I mean, it just, and I could look at the things he says and does and feel so let down. That's what I want for you, to notice the difference, just like you do, sitting on the bench. Imagination, you are aware, and working through it. Some of us would say, oh, I'm awake to that. I don't need a worksheet. But no, not you. You're just in. Just, where's my life small? It's what we're thinking and believing is the only, that's where we're small. We're not, but that's how we believe ourselves to be. And then we put that on others. Let's look at 6.
I don't ever want to be hurt and disappointed again, to feel unlovable again.
I'm willing to
be hurt and disappointed again. I'm willing to feel unlovable again.
Yeah. And you were just sitting on a bench, feeling all those things.
Yeah.
Sitting on a bench. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with someone, we're still in the dream. We're just, awake to it. And it's like chop wood, carry water, one way, same thoughts. One way we're in a trance and it's painful. The other way, we're awake to the dream, just witnessing, growing, watching, and sitting with you, Homero. You certainly are. You certainly are the teacher that shows us the difference, and not to, we can fear the state of mind that's showing up, but what to do about it. And you were aware of it at the time, and you still work through it. Some of us, we're not awake to it, and we'll do our worksheets. But you're just going deeper, honey, deeper, just staying in your work. So, honey, let's get some. Thank you so much for being our teacher.
Love you, Katie. Thank you.
You, honey. So, dears, honey, what have you, sitting with our teacher today, Homero, what have you become awake to? What did you realize? What are your takeaways, Celia?
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Homero, for bringing this up, to just putting it all out there. Thank you, Katie, for all of these insights. The ego's preventative medicine at work. It was not hard for me to visualize what Homero was going through at all. I remember sitting next to someone at an event that I had to sit next to for like 3 hours. And I noticed the traction was there, and this whole thing that you're talking about was going on. And I just felt this pressure building up in me and I didn't know what it was. And at the end of this 3 hours, the person was like said to me, oh, I've got 2 tickets to, I mean, I interpreted it as this person was going to ask me to do something with them. And I literally interrupted them, shut it down somehow, and just, later I was just, my mind was blown. Like, what am I doing? That was just completely egoic fear.
It was fear. That's the
Fear.
trance. And O'Mara showed us so clearly the trance.
But I had no idea that all those beliefs were behind it. Thank you. Thank you.
You are so clear in what you're saying.
Thank you, Katie. I love you.
I love you too, honey. You know, that trance, that's the separator. We put it on the world, but no, it's in us.
No, it's in us from age 3, 5, just as beautifully described. Thank you again.
You know, people throughout my life have admired me for the way I am in the world, and I am no more with people like you didn't even know that person you were sitting next to, and that's it.
Right. I didn't know them and I felt attraction. Like, and it was like kind of unusual. Like, but at the intensity, just that little bit of intensity was enough to really trigger the whole story, the whole outcome, which was nothing.
Gosh, boy. Oh, honey, that's so powerful. What we miss, the life we miss. And then as we do our work and we begin to wake up from the trance, the way, you know, we remember Amaro, as we wake up to the trance, our lives become so full. We're awake beyond the dream. And we still live in the dream. It's just absent the fear, without the fear. Because we understand that life is imagined.
You said at the end, it's like, okay, it's like, okay, either just wake up, it's just a dream, or go on in your painful little small life.
Yeah. And to take it a step further, it's a dream, and then take it to paper. Because the dream offers up the next worksheet. The dream comes up, I get it. Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Put it on paper. Yeah, because there could be some missing pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy, when you think life can't get any better, life gives us our next worksheet. And it does. Yan Liu? How do you say your name, sweetie?
Yen?
That's Yan. Hi, honey. What is your
Hi.
takeaway?
Oh, my takeaway is this trance is so strong.
Mm.
I have a situation right now where I've done worksheets and I wake up and then somehow it very frequently involves my mom, who probably is mentally unstable.
Mhm.
But then I've done the worksheet, I woke up and I feel good for a day. And then my mother calls again and I'm in the same trance again. It's like my ego is telling me, it's your mom, you have to pay attention. It's your mom, you have to pay attention. And I've done so many worksheets on it. And then I see this trance. I don't know. I mean, should I just keep
So
going?
well, your mother is your earth school teacher. Think of her that way. She's here to wake you up. You do a worksheet, you think, oh my gosh, I get it. And she calls to give you your next worksheet.
Okay.
That's our mothers, boy, they're just not, even when they die, they live in us, just like Homero sitting on the bench. Worksheet, worksheet, worksheet.
So and I get into those trance like Omera does with my mother. I would sit on the park bench. I would spend hours thinking my mother and my mother's situations. And so it's just worksheet, even if it's every day. So I just have to keep doing the worksheet every day, every day.
You don't have to, no, but it's not done until it's done. And even if she dies, she lives in you. I mean, you're gonna, like on the bench, for all you know, she's dead and she's still living in your head. So worksheet, worksheet. And when you're sitting on a bench like that, you can, there's for 99 cents, there's a work app.
Okay.
And on your phone, you can just go to the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet and fill it in and then sit in self-inquiry, just the way Omero was so patient and open. And you can just, what a lovely way to spend time on a bench.
Okay.
Because your mother's there, no mistake. It's Earth School, and we've all got. I'm speaking from experience. My mother, boy, she didn't die until I was ready. And mothers don't die, by the way. They live in our head, dead or alive. So.
And then, but what if I'm like at work, I really just want to put it down. I'm like, I have a lot of things to do. I can't. And the way my ego is like, especially I'm at work, I'm like, I have a lot of work to do. I don't have time to pay attention to this. But my ego is like, it's your mother. It's your mother. You got to pay attention, pay attention. So I guess at that moment, should I just write something down?
What's an example? Your mother needs something from you, and you think I need to pay.
Yeah, so I will be at work doing my job, and my mother will call, and then she will be like, she will just very frequently, she just has an insane thought. She has hallucinations about someone.
Okay,
And
so you be your mother, and I'll be someone that's done their work. I'll be you. Okay, so ring, ring. Hi, mom. Hello, mother.
okay, well, this person stole my bag. I'm pretty sure she stole it,
Oh, mom. Oh, my goodness.
and I want her to pay me back. I need to get it back, and she's denying it. I'm sure she stole my bag.
Oh, oh, mom. Oh, my goodness. I hear that.
And then she just, she keep going. I need.
Yeah, but just keep going. I'm listening to my mother.
Okay.
Here's another way. Say the same thing again. Be your mom.
Okay.
Someone stole my bag.
Someone else stole my clothes. My clothes was there, and then the same person stole my clothes.
Oh my
And
goodness, mom, what are we going to do about it? Where does she live? What does she do? Maybe you should stop speaking to her. Don't hang out with her. You see the difference?
yeah.
I'm trying to appease and calm my mother in this scenario. In the first one, I was listening to my mother. That's all she wants, is to be heard, not to be proved wrong or crazy or to be heard without trying to fix her.
Okay.
And then if she says, will you come see me? If there's space for that in my life, I can say, I would like that too. And if I wouldn't like it, I could say, I can be there, like let's say, tomorrow morning at 11. But I don't, that's caring about my mother, but it's more for me. But I'm not trying to fix my mother. I'm you love your mother, or you wouldn't pick up the phone, or you're afraid not to pick up the phone. But if you do a few worksheets, those turnarounds they'll show you how to deal with your mother. Like, I want my mother to see that she's wrong. In that situation, when she says the neighbor sold the purse,
Mhm.
turned around, I don't want my mother to see that she's wrong. Why would I say that? Because how often have you changed her mind?
Never.
There's a clue.
The
So
okay.
you can understand your mother. Like, oh, Mom, I hear your purse was stolen. What does that feel like? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Or just, Mother, I hear. I mean, this is love. Listening is caring. This work showed me I never had to change my mother's mind. The power, all the power of God is love. If I'm trying to fix my mother, the ego would say, that's loving. But if she had a heart attack or something, I could be there. If it's possible at all, I will be. That's love. But if someone steals her purse and she's upset and it's the 10th time, or she doesn't have a purse or whatever, or even if she does and it was stolen, I can still respond with, Mom, I hear you. That could be really scary. I get it. But the worksheet will give you the language. I'm not a language teacher. These worksheets, questions and turned around, give you your language, the way you converse with the way your mom knows you to be and the way you know you to be. Only your concern for your mother, you learn a communication for that is authentic concern for your mother communicated without trying to fix her or change her.
That is so hard to do because then my mind goes to trance, like Homer, like a trance. And even after we hang up the phone, she hang up a phone. I come her, I spend 2 hours at work, like worrying about what could happen, thinking maybe she needs 24-hour care, that maybe she just she needs to go to a mental home or something. But
Mhm. Yeah, and you could be right. You could be right. So you might have someone just pay a visit with a professional and just have tea and have them observe without you being so worried. You know, I'm not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I can't make decisions like that. But I know when my mother's in pain, and I know that listening and understanding without trying to fix my mother is the best preventive medicine, because it allows her to trust when she calls me that that there's someone there that cares.
thank you, Katie.
Oh, honey, you're so welcome, and I love the way you love your mom. But fear is fear is fear. The kind of fear you're describing, as I'm imagining it, having lived it myself, is exhausting. And that's not on my mother, that's on me. And those are worksheets.
Okay.
Because living those turnarounds show you how to be with your mom and how to be with yourself when you're with your mom.
Okay. It is very exhausting. Thank you.
Oh, it is, and it can cost you a huge percentage of your life, your work life and your personal life, your relationship with your mother and yourself, the guilt that runs and the fear that runs. If there are any of you certified facilitators here, if you reach out,
Mhm.
Jan, and if someone is a certified facilitator and on the chat column, then maybe they could sit with you and and um, and work with you. And so many of us have done our mother work and
Yeah.
relationship work.
Yeah.
But oh, sweetie, it sounds so callous to say, but suffering is optional once we learn the work, and we do it for the love of truth, not for the love of making our mothers feel better. Because when we're in touch with ourselves, we're kinder, more understanding human beings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
watched my mother and sister when my mother was at the hospital in the middle of the night. She was in so much pain, and and um, she was like serious pain. And my sister called me from the hospital, and they wouldn't admit my mother. There wasn't anyone to look at her. They didn't have time for her, and it was terrifying for her to be there with my mother in pain. And so I got there, just immediately dropped everything, got there, and just clear communication. Mom, I'll just, I'll do what I can. And long story short, got her in there like that. Fear is not user friendly. Fear is in my world, for me, it's a mental illness. And it was the truth that set me free. No one else's, my own. And we all have that in us. And these questions invite that wisdom up. So, honey, thank you for sharing you're not alone there, boy. We've all got a mother dead or alive, or we've met them or we haven't. But either way, we've got mother work and father work, and yeah. And I thank you for your courage just to speak up.
Thank you, Katie. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for the words of wisdom.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh boy, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Oh, your sound.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This was a wonderful share, and I felt like it resonated with me deeply. I put something in the chat that years ago, I was in a very heavy relationship for years and just had such a bad breakup. It felt worse than a divorce.
Mm.
Years, I tortured myself into thinking that I mustn't be worthwhile enough to have another one. I wish I had known you then and known about this program then, because as many of us have found, you can do cognitive therapy. Maybe that works for a lot of people, but they'll say to you, how does that make you feel? And then you tell them and you cry, and you might not have any tools. But here are these great tools in a toolbox. And I loved how Mero shared the pain and the feeling that we have, or that I had, of being so stuck and feeling so unworthy. And then I look back at these pictures of myself when I was, decades ago, and having finished college and starting a career and thinking, I am a viable person, I am deserving. And thinking how it did go back to my childhood, and how these feelings had emerged, and how we all are the same, whether it's a breakup in a relationship or a situation with our mother or father, as you say. I did your
I'd like to
workshop.
say, in every language of the world, there are no new stressful thoughts. They're all recycled over and over and over. The ego is not that tricky, but the ego and the images that come with it, my goodness, that's art school. And that's, we're in we're imagined, just as Omero showed us so clearly. So yeah, just judge your person, write it down, ask 4 questions, turn it around, and remember our teacher today.
I feel like I remembered my teacher, and it was such a valuable lesson for me to have healthier relationships in the future, and for me not to be so codependent and
Yeah.
obsessed with this guy when I thought, oh my God, I could have been doing so many more productive, solid things during that time that
Well,
you
know,
could
the
be
wonderful,
president.
the wonderful thing about time is you begin now. Now's the time, not then. Then is the teacher. Now it's, this is the beginning of life right here, right now. The beginning, you have no proof of it. Boom, just amazing. There's sky and trees and the apparent you and me and just, this is, I've got goosebumps. This life is a gift. But boy, what we're thinking and believing puts us in the not now or ever zone. Time is a state of mind. It's an illusion as we think of this present moment right here, right now. Too late, it's already gone. So
I
I'm
appreciate so much your sharing, my learning, everyone's sharing, because I think it's a safe place, but it's brave. And I remember at the workshop feeling how
Yeah.
brave these people are to share from the heart.
Deborah, it blows my mind every time. Our courage to, there's nothing more personal than what we're thinking and believing. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Katie. Really means a lot.
Thank you. Vered.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Vered.
I think the work Homero did was brilliant because doing a work about my fantasy makes it so much easier to see the fantasy, because anyway, we put this fantasy on everyone that we meet. So, but it was much easier to see. And for me, it was interesting because what I saw is that it's the same mechanism of the ego for everything. It's not just lovers, it's avoiding pain. I think this is like the main road. Like it protects us apparently from pain, like imaginary pain. I think this is like the main thing. If it's work, if it's like to avoid pain, to be safe from pain, this is, I wonder, like, what is this pain thing? It's like,
it's the effects of what we're thinking and believing. And even pain is imagined.
exactly. But this is like, but I really do think that it's like a motive that runs through all this, buildings we build in our heads. It's like, I saw it. It's like I avoid pain that is concerning my career. I avoid pain concerning my lovers. It's like, it's just not to be in pain, just not to suffer. Just not, this is like this,
Yeah, you're describing fear.
Exactly. And then you suffer. You suffer. You bring the suffering on yourself. This is.
Yeah, and then
Before anything happened. Yeah, I
mind
think
happens and the effect is fear, and we can move that from our head to worksheet and remember Homero, our teacher today.
yeah, and not just this, but when it happens, it's always so different from imagination. And it's so
Well, no, that's the life of a believer. You've been you're dreamed.
yeah, and it's much more and you can deal with it because it's now. But when it's some kind of imaginary pain that you are trying to avoid,
It's not imagining for you when you're in it. You're
Yes.
you're believing.
true.
So you can't
Yeah.
stop believing when you're believing.
Right.
But these worksheets, they eventually there's nothing that isn't. And what grace is that?
Yeah, and I think for Omero it's great because once he will meet someone and this whole scenario will raise, it's like, oh, I know you. I saw you. I did the work on you. So he's already in a different place. And it's, yeah, I think this is the big gift of this work, I think.
Thank you, Vered.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, all of you stay well, and I'll leave you to that. And if you should experience a little stress in your life, remember our teacher today, and move it from your head to paper. And if Omero can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. And if you need a little help, you can go to thework.com. The worksheets are there. And we have certified facilitators who volunteer on the helpline. And the helpline is free. And we don't take your name and your number and all that stuff. I mean, we're just there to support you to find your way in the world as you support us, as we work with you to find our own way in the world. And thank you, dears. Thank you for your contributions. It really, really supports us to show up here every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if you're not loving what is, do I have 4 questions for you? Thank you again, Omero.